We have questions already for tonight's show.
Okay, we're on. Hi. Kazi just informed me that we have questions for tonight's show. How are you all? I'm Ahura Z, and welcome to The Way of the Unicorn, formerly known as Ask the Unicorn. And this is Kazi.
Hello, this is episode 35, and tonight is May 28th.
Hello, May 28th.
Wow!
Goofy. So, tonight we are going to start with a topic, and we'll get to that in a moment. I am reformatting everything, and in the future we will change our set because I'm getting kind of tired of the little white balls there, so I'm going to put perhaps even a new color or a new prop there. And I think it would be really cool. But first, let's get to a thing that we did today. We went today to see X-Men in 3D. It was awesome, okay? Now, you all know how I feel about Hollywood. I feel like they just do the same things over and over and over and over again. But this movie was actually exceptional. The majority of it was, magnificently special effects, but still, it was awesome. And 3D is not what it used to be. It is so much better. So if you're all looking for something really cool to do during the weekend, go see X-Men. And if you can't afford it, just wait for it to come on, I can't even say DVD anymore.
Netflix.
Or Xbox Video. It'll be well worth your money. I'm just telling you. We get to go to a movie every once in a while. And this was a good one. Okay, so there's our movie review. I just want to say that Patrick Stewart is awesome, like always. I want to say that Hugh Jackman is pretty cool. And I want to say that, what was Patrick Stewart's best friend?
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen is
Magneto.
Awesome, as
Magneto.
always. And Fan Bingbing.
She plays a character called Spark. She's the one that goes "Wait, wait, wait," and opens up little portals to other rooms and other...
Look, all I got to say is Fan Bingbing, okay?
You didn't even know it was her until I pointed it out.
I did know it was her.
Nuh-uh.
You said that's your girl, and I said, yeah, I know, Fan Bingbing.
Uh-huh.
Besides, she's Fan Bingbing. That's all I really have to say about it. She is Fan Bingbing. She's awesome. So anyway, all of you, go see that show. It will be well worth your money and well worth your time. Okay? And it's probably one of the best Marvel films that has come out to date.
Did we miss the Silver Surfer? I almost said the Liquid Surfer.
What?
Silver Surfer?
No.
Did we miss
different.
that movie?
No, we didn't. That was the Fantastic Four. And that was years ago. And it didn't
not so
even...
fantastic.
Yeah, they weren't so fantastic at all. They were kind of boring, really.
It's like, who's that
and
guy? That's
the Silver Surfer,
Surfer.
They made him kind of lame, which is too bad. But, and that's a whole different thing. That's not Marvel.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, but I can say that this absolutely, with the exception of the Blade movies, was the best of all of the Marvel movies. And believe you me, I'm partial to Thor myself. So I had to say this was way better. So go see it. Anyway, let's move on. I hear that we have some questions, so I'll take a few questions before we actually get to tonight's topic. Okay, so what have you got for me?
Okay, let's start off tonight with a question from Chrissy. Why are some people very psychic and some are a psychic null? Can't see or feel anything, even if they believe in paranormal phenomena. Are these people more naturally protected against certain paranormal phenomena?
It has nothing to do with protection. It has to do with what they're equipped with. Some people get a little more, some people get a little less. This whole planet is a psychic planet, and we are all psychic to one degree or another. It's just that some people have a hold on it and some people really don't. Most people that you meet throughout the day and talk to throughout the day rarely even know what they're thinking or feeling. As a matter of fact, you can line 10 people up in a room, ask them all, what are you thinking? And 9 of them will tell you what they're feeling. And you can do the same thing with feeling, and 9 of them will tell you what they're thinking. It doesn't necessarily have to... I know that we like to pretend, and we've been taught by certain factions that to have psychic powers, or not powers, but a psychic gift, or to have a gift of any type of an intuition is evil and you need protection against it. But that's really uneducated, and it is also very, very biased. And usually the very people that don't understand psychism or don't understand telepathy or don't understand those types of gifts are the ones that point a finger and say that it's evil only because they can't do it. It's kind of like, during the 70s, I thought one of the coolest things that there was disco, and I really don't care what anybody thought about it. It was fun. It was awesome. You go out and dance. But it was only those people that could not dance that said disco sucked because they couldn't dance. So I think that if everyone just kind of opens themselves up and understands that it's just a different expression or another expression of life, then you would see that we all have some level of intuition. And if you choose to call that intuition psychic or telepathic or anything else, that's up to you, wholly up to you. There's some people that are really good at building cars and some people who absolutely suck. There's some people who are excellent at baking cakes and some people who absolutely suck at baking a cake. But it doesn't make them any less of a human being, nor does it mean that because they can't bake a cake, there's not another part of baking that they may or may not be great in. It all comes down to a perspective and the way that people think about things. So, it's really interesting that we would think of things that to be protected from in the psychic nature without seeing the benefit. Yes, there are things to protect yourself from, but there are also things to benefit you. And it amazes me constantly that people always flow towards the negative. So I have to answer you this way, to say that, does it mean that these people are protected? No. There's no protection that even comes into play. If you don't see something, it merely means you just don't see something. Not everybody has that particular gift. It would be best to find out what gift you do have. If you're interested in the paranormal, your intellect may be the very thing that is your gift. And it's funny how people don't think of intelligence or intellect or being able to use numbers or being able to calculate or being able to do a certain thing that would be normally termed as mundane as a gift, because we'd have nothing if there were no people that have. There are people who are experts at building tables and people who are experts at building speakers, yet they can't see or hear ghosts. That doesn't mean that they don't have a gift. It merely means their gift doesn't flow in that direction. Okay? So, it comes down to predilection. What are you predisposed of? What is your predisposition? Okay, perhaps there are some people that have a lot of psychism and some people who just have a little bit and some people who you call are null, but they're not null because they have the ability to think. And if you have the ability to think, then you have the ability to develop your thoughts and develop your thinking process. And what that really is called, for all of you that think that the word psychic really means anything other than mentalist or mental or psionic or based in psionic, it really is. It's just a simple thing. We like to put a lot of mystery behind things. Oh, they're psychic. Ooh, but it comes down to this. If you can think, then you are a psychic. You may not have a phenomenal amount of that thinking ability or a phenomenal amount of that particular sensitivity that would enable you to see things of a non-tangible nature, but you still are psychic. And that's the bottom line. Develop yourself. And if you can develop yourself, you'll see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. If you can see that flame there, and I'm looking at that flame at the same time, that means that we have a limited psychic connection, and that is the absolute truth. What you do with that particular perspective is up to you. Think of it that way. Here's a good exercise. I'd like for each of you to see if you can find it, and I love giving this assignment, okay? Find a Cheerio, those little things. As a matter of fact, find something that is made by people, actually, not necessarily the machines. And I really don't condone people to go out and buy Cheerios, especially what's been done with our food nowadays and the whole Monsanto thing, which I won't go into because it'll just get me riled and I'll wind up ranting about something. Think about everything that it took to bring that piece to you. and then write down what it is that you see. Think about what it is that you see from the moment that you pick it up until everything that enabled that Cheerio to be delivered to you. Don't just look and say, well, I see a big round circle of old kind of cereal. Don't stop there. Keep going. This is how you develop yourself. And that way you will be connected to every single being that lives on the face of this planet. Maybe directly, maybe indirectly. But it will bring you someplace other than just the finite moment of picking up that Cheerio. Or take another classic exercise, which is looking at a tree and deciding where it ends. Does it end with the branches and the leaves and the limbs, or does it keep going? Is the air between all of those part of the tree? Think about it, and then there's the roots, and then how the tree get there. And that can lead you on a whole journey within yourself and within the very earth itself, to understand that the earth is a living being, not just a planet that we like to stomp around on and fight over, and decide that this is my side of this gigantic planet, which I had nothing to do with building. Think about the huge implications that there are to our lives. Start thinking that way, and then you'll understand. We literally all are one. We may not see that. Sorry, I sounded a little bit like William Shatner there for a moment. We all are one. No. But literally, we are all one. But you have to find that out to know the reality of it. So I hope that helps you out. All right, one more question before I get to the topic.
Oh, we have quite a few questions.
Yeah, well, then I will ask. Well, are they here with people that are here tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got?
When an individual does their part in fighting against negativity in their part of the world, does that contribute to the overall pushback against negativity?
It does indeed. It does indeed. And sometimes it just contributes to the diminishing of negativity. It doesn't always have to be a pushback. Sometimes it is a let go. And then negativity has nothing to cling on to. So yes, very good question. But you have to do your part, which is interesting because later on I'll tell you a little bit about what I mean by that.
All right. So next question comes from Laura McPherson, and I apologize if I did not pronounce your last name correctly.
McPherson?
Like that.
McPherson.
McPherson.
McPherson. I think it's the same thing.
I can't do that Irish accent. I botch it every time, so I'm not going to try. She asks, I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning and heard a bell, crystal clear, ring twice. It filled the room, and my sister, who I share a room with, heard it also. We can't explain it as it was no doorbell or alarm. It was two distinct rings, one high-pitched and one slightly lower tone. It felt angelic almost. I was not scared. Could you shed any light?
It actually was angelic. It meant that there was a completion to a cycle. There were two different bells, one high and one low, which meant that there were two people, so one for each one of you. But both of the tones are complete. Okay? If they were not complete, one of you would have heard what sounds like a broken glass tinkle, It's really interesting. I usually call that an angelus. Now that means that both of you have had some really good spiritual input into your life, and at that particular moment, I believe that you would be the one that would know a little bit about prayer. So that's actually called an angelus, okay? That ring is a call to prayer, which basically means at that particular moment, since you both woke up and you both heard that particular thing, it was probably telling you to pray. So if I were you, I would find some time before this day is over and pray. Okay? Have a chat with your angels. Have a chat with God. Have a chat with Goddess, whoever you see as your divine creator, the one that assists you in your divine evolution. That's a blessing. Okay, so that's what it was. All right.
Should she pray about anything in particular? Or
I just said pray.
All right. This next question comes from Corey, and he says, Hi, I had contacted you back in October about a dark figure watching me in my sleep. Since then, we have moved to a new home now. My wife is waking up to whispering, and the TV turned on by itself.
Unplug your television at night.
There's more to it. We hear footsteps through the house at night. and sometimes music playing softly. What should we do?
Unplug your television at night and unplug some of those things that could transmit that particular type of activity. If your television turns on by itself again, then it means that you have a entity that is using that particular thing to try to communicate with you, in which case I would call someone to investigate at least. And if it becomes malevolent, then you would call someone like myself to get rid of it. Okay? That's what you should do. Another thing that you might consider doing is taking a teaspoon of regular salt, or sea salt if you will, and 2 teaspoons, maybe 3 teaspoons of clear vinegar, put it in a glass bowl and sitting it someplace high in your room. It will cut the astral emanation, if that is what it is. Sometimes there can be an electrical surge that will cause those things. There's some very sensitive electrical appliances. Remember, we have to take everything into consideration. Don't just decide to go to as the mystical. Think about the mundane first, okay? So there's some clear steps, and if you have any problems, contact me. Okay, thank you. Hope that helps you out.
This next question is from Joanne Micah. She says, I have spent the last week in Texas at my brother's and head home Tuesday morning, May 26th. And she says, his wife feels immersed in negative/pathological energy. What can I do to rid myself of this? I am generally a drama-free, positive person, just a solid rock. I know eventually I will shed all the negative energy, but I'd like to expedite it. Thanks.
You have to go through the process. If you know that the negative energy came from someplace, remember one of the things that I've told you before. When you get back from that place, don't go sitting in your house or in your room with the same clothes on. Change your clothes, wash your clothes, get rid of all of the negativity, and if you have to, do things like leave your shoes outside and make sure that you didn't bring something from that environment with you. Okay, if you did, let it stay outside until which time you can cleanse it. And I have shown you how to do that, and other people have shown you how to do that. Remember, if there's something that challenges your normal state of being, something that causes you undue stress, then it's not yours. Okay? It comes from another source. You have to get rid of the things that came from the other source. That's the best way to tell you. But don't try to expedite things. Just go through the process. Okay? If you go through the process, then you'll remain as solid as you are. That helps you.
Awesome. We have a comment from Rebecca Porterfield Kessler. She says, in regards to,
hi, Rebecca.
In regards to the bells ringing and the Angelus, she says, that's so nice. What does it mean when you hear a flute?
That means that there's a clear connection to you and your guides. That's very special. At that particular moment, there is a message that will be following it, and I suggest that you listen to it and do exactly as your guides tell you to do. That means that you also have a predilection for music, otherwise it would not have come through as a flute. The flute represents change, and it also represents reforming of things, which basically means that you must be in a period of reforming or reestablishing a foundation. Okay? Just make sure that it's clean and clear. Okay? It's often been said that the clear tone of a flute represents the clarity in the relationship between man and God, or woman and goddess, and woman and God, and man and goddess. Between us and divinity, we'll put it that way. Okay? So, at that particular moment, clear sailing. You just have to listen to what it is that your guides are trying to tell you. Okay? If there's something that you know you need to follow up on, then follow up on it. Okay? Really clear. That's good.
What about when you wake up and you hear a choir of angels singing, or a choir singing?
Have you?
Yes.
If you've heard a choir of angels singing, then that means it takes that many people to get their point across to you.
It means I need to wake up. Okay. It means you're not awake yet.
No, it just means that you need to listen. And other times it can mean that you're being watched. Other times it can mean that you're protected. Other times it can mean that you're assisted. Other times it can mean that you have some input and someone is trying to get in touch with you from up there. Other times it could mean that it takes that many angels just to handle your one day because you're in a lot of trouble.
More than likely the latter. All right. And this next question comes from Amber51788. I would like to know, what do you see for me in my future, and where should I go from here?
If you would like to know that, then you are free to schedule a reading with me. I do not do free readings. However, if you would like to schedule a reading, you can reach me at area code 207-347-5686. The price is $45 for a half an hour, $30 for 15 minutes. And that's how you find that out.
Yeah. Or you can send us an email.
Yes, or send us an email. And you can also reach us at www.unicorn-cove.com.
Great.
Then you can find out.
Awesome. Rebecca says, cool, thanks. I love, love, love music, but can't play a note. I have heard singing, and I've smelled roses too.
Ah. Roses are a loved one that's visiting you.
Ooh. That's interesting. A lot of times I've heard stories of people...
A woman, by the way. If accompanied by sandalwood, then it is a man. What else you got?
That's it.
Is that it? Good.
You can proceed with your...
Okay, so that brings us all to tonight's topic. It's very interesting. You all are very much on point. What it is if you want change in your life, the topic is, if you want change in your life, if there's something that you need in your life, or you feel as though there's something missing in your life, then you've got to be willing to do something about it. Not just talk about it, not just seek answers. You have to be willing to get up off of your keister and do something. If you want anything made in your life at all, remember, most of the people that listen to this particular show are very common people like myself, okay? We do not have a lot of money, nor do we have a lot of time to sit around and wonder about the mysteries of the universe. Although that's part of the things that I teach, I don't sit around and wondering. I do things actively. You have to actually get up and make something happen. You have to commit yourself to change. Okay? There are a lot of people out there with some very, very good thought, and some of you have asked them, you've all asked some very, very good questions, and I receive questions all throughout the day of people that want to know about things, like we talk about the chemtrails, we talk about Monsanto, we talk about other things that are affecting humans on a daily basis, but it's one thing to be a Facebook warrior, you know, to sit up and talk about, sign this or pledge this or sign this petition or like this if you agree and so forth and so forth. But you know something, you really have to be willing to do something about it. You have to be willing to spend the time that it takes to fight against something. And even then you've got to be willing to spend more time to fight for something. Okay? Like, we're here to talk about mysticism and paranormality and metaphysics and spirituality. And guess what? All of these things fall under the heading of change, because you have to do something in order to realize that you are an evolving being that is growing and changing every single day. You can't just sit around and philosophize about things. And when someone actually needs help, you can't just offer them a platitude. You have to offer them something to do, or a clear direction to. And this is why, I have from time to time been put to task for saying things that, about certain associations, and I'm going to say it again. I think that most of the animal conservation groups and most of the environmental protection agencies are full of caca, because they do nothing. They sit around, they hand out ribbons and say, wear this ribbon if you're for this. And they take a lot of money, and you know something? They are not willing to be innovative, nor are they willing to fight on the behalf of those people that need the help. There are a lot of associations. There are associations for the protection of children. But you know something? It's a really funny thing that most of the people that work for companies like Child Protective Services and DHS don't have children. So they really don't know what the heck they're talking about. Most of the guardians at Lytton don't have children. They're not even old enough to have children. Well, they're technically old enough, but not mature enough. Nor have they been in a relationship where children might be the issue. Okay? There are environmental protection agencies that are standing around watching as they poison the skies and having summit meetings. crap like that there instead of standing in front of the jets that needs to happen. You know, that's what they call the right way. There are a lot of agencies that protect people from abuse, or so they say. So they say they do. And if that's the case, then why is there still abuse? And not just with women, because all I ever hear is, you know, for the protection of women against abuse. Listen, guys get abused every single day. Every day. And you know who abuses them? Women. Just like women get abused by men. I think it's all ugly. I think it's all horrible. I think it's all a monster. And it's a monster that needs to be conquered. But we can't do that if we're only looking out of one eye. Or if we're sitting around telling people to sign a petition. Petitions don't do anything. This one person said that if petitions really did anything, then they wouldn't allow us to do it.
That's true.
And you know something? You have to kind of look at it and say, it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. I think that one of the greatest things that actually did happen was the whole Occupy Wall Street thing. But then they let someone screw it up by deciding, well, yeah, we're going to talk to the reporters, or we're going to talk to this, or we're going to... Listen, when you decide to occupy something, you don't let the other side in. You don't decide that you're going to have a spokesperson to talk to the other side. That's not what you do. That's not how you win. Okay? You get down to the grassroots, and if someone says, well, who's your spokesperson? You say, none of you. That's the only thing you need to say. Well, what does that mean? None of your business. If you're for the other side, I have nothing to say for you. Get out. Okay? That's just on a physical level. The mental level is this. You don't just let anybody in. You think about it. You let them show their dedication. And it's the same for you if you're trying to build a spiritual relationship, or if you're trying to build a relationship with anything that you're trying to change. Lane, come here. Okay? Think about it. If you want something done and you need something to happen, then be willing to stand in front of the plane. You don't have to be ugly or violent, but just be willing to do something. Don't still shop at Walmart when you know that they're the monster. That's ridiculous. Don't go out and buy, Tostitos when you know that they're backing Monsanto, and then complain as to why you feel sick when you eat them. Be willing to change. You have to be willing, if you're going to make a complete spiritual change, you have to actually be willing to do it. You want to lose weight? Simple. Exercise. Stop eating the stuff that causes you to gain weight. There is no exception. Well, can I have just a little bit? No. 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 There's no exception. You got to do it all. Well, things are okay in moderation. You know what? The people that say that kind of thing are usually the people that are just too doggone lazy to do what it takes. And if you're too lazy to do what it takes, then you don't deserve to lose weight. I want to get in shape. Then do what it takes to get in shape. I need this. Then do what it takes to get that. I really want my relationship to work better. Then you've got to be willing to do what it takes to make that relationship work. I really want to stop drinking. Then you've got to be willing to do what it takes in order for you to stop drinking. I want to stop smoking. You've got to be willing to do what it takes to stop smoking. Don't go buy a pack and then wait until you get to your last cigarette to say, I'm going to quit. Because you won't. You won't. I'll quit on New Year's. No, you won't. Be willing to do what it takes. I'm going to have a thing where I actually do some kind of prayer work every single day. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out, but I want to make sure that I put myself in the discipline to say something, to acknowledge the fact that I do believe in a higher power, and I do know that a higher power is there, and I want to acknowledge that. Then you got to be willing to make sure that you do it. Don't say, oh, I'm too tired to do it tonight. I'll do it in the morning. No, because you won't. Don't you understand? There are two sides of energy, and those two sides of energy are like in the old shows where they show on one half there's an angel and the other side there's a demon. You're always in between that particular battle, and if you give credence to one or the other, it will decide who gets credence the next time. And this is just the truth. I'm only laying it out to you. These are some of the rules if you want to learn mysticism. You want to learn about how to do a protective oil, or you want to learn how to meditate, or you want to learn how to do yoga, or you want to learn how to dance, or you want to learn how to create music or sing or art or sculpt, or maybe you want to learn just how to be a good person. Then you got to be willing to do what it takes in order for you to be the good person. I hear people all the time, and I hear people even at night when I'm laying in bed getting ready to go to sleep. Oh, I want to meet my soulmate. I want my dream person. I want my dreams to come true. But you know what? You have to be willing to be the dream. You have to be willing to commit to being that dream. You're saying, this is what and I hear this a lot. And sisters, don't get mad at me. I'm only telling you the truth. Okay? I hear this all the time. I want a man, and I want a man that is going to love, honor, cherish, respect, and only look at me, and only do this, and only do that, and me, and me, and me, and I, my, I, my, me, my, I, and I. In other words, you want a man that will stop being a man just because you want to be a woman. And that's not going to work. Okay? And then they'll sit in front of me. Can't you do a love spell so that I can have a guy? Oh, God already did one. He made you a wonderful woman. I don't think I can improve on him. But you have to be willing to be that wonderful woman. Okay? And that goes for you guys too. You know, because we're a piece of work, seriously. I wind up having to apologize for the actions of my brothers on a daily basis. Going up to a girl and saying, you look better than a new set of snow tires. Really? Really? Seriously? Stalking a girl on Facebook and then saying, oh yeah, you know, there must be a psychic connection between us. Seriously? If you want someone, you got to be willing to be the dream. You got to fix yourself. And you can. We all can. That's what makes us so wonderful. We can do things to fix ourselves. What do you do when you go home? If it's dark, you turn on a light, right? Okay. You want to find your soulmate? Then be a soulmate. Don't come and tell me that you know that this person is your soulmate. They just don't know it yet. See, both of you will know it. This is how it works. Okay? You can't hope that somebody's going to change just because you want them. Because if they change, then you won't like them because they're not the person you met. Okay, so you got to be willing to do something. Don't tell me you want a guy that's in total shape and you're not. Or don't tell me that you want this really beautiful girl and you look like death on a soda cracker on a really hot Sunday. Don't tell me that. Because I'm a unicorn. I have learned to refine myself when speaking the truth. But I'll be happy to cash your reality check.
Oh, and he cashes them daily. Let me tell you all.
Okay, so let's say that you tell me that you want to learn mysticism. And I've already laid down the rules of what learning mysticism from me are. Don't come and tell me what you've been doing because I don't care. I really don't. Okay? I'll just look at you and smile after you get through telling me the woes of your life and terrible, and then try to explain to me what you've been doing mystically and how you feel like it's working. I'll just look at you and smile. And then ask you, seriously, you just told me all of this stuff, so obviously it's not working. I don't teach your way, I teach my way. If you come to me for help, I'm going to help you my way. Which basically means I'm going to help you the best way. Until which time you can help yourself. But you have to be willing to do something. Don't just be a Facebook warrior putting up things to say how wonderful things are. Because they're not, and you know they're not. We struggle every single day. We are real people. And real people need real help. Real people are tired of being afraid. Real people are tired of being ostracized. We are tired of being bullied. We are tired of being neglected, and we are tired of being ignored. And if you're a gifted person, again, I'm going to call to you and say, stop hiding. Stop it. Stop pretending to be normal. Stop falling by the wayside of status quo and mediocrity. Don't celebrate mediocrity. If you go to a concert or something like that, and you know the people just don't sound that good, because there's a lot of people out there that have music careers, and more power to them. They worked hard, most of them. And you know it doesn't sound good. Don't just sit there and pretend like it sounds good, because that's the cool thing to do, and then get drunk and say, oh yeah, it sounds great. Because if you have to drink to do something, then you don't belong doing it. Seriously. If you have to take a drug in order to feel good about doing something, or drink in order to feel good about doing something, or alter your state in any way, shape, or form in order to feel good about something, then it's not for you. It's really that simple. If you want to grow spiritually, understand that you must grow in reality. It's all about commitment. Commit yourself to the change. Commit yourself to being what it is that you say you're going to be. If you decide, I'm going to save up enough pennies so that I can get what I want to get, then don't get part of the way and say, oh, this is too hard, and then quit. Be committed. Commit, for goodness sake. It's up to you. Commit to it. You want to learn how to do movies, then do what it takes to do the frickin' movies. I don't care if anybody believes in you. I don't care if anybody's going to back you. You find a way. Don't sit and whine. If you know that you deserve something in your life, then be willing to do what it takes to get that something in your life. Don't take a lame approach to life and hope that somebody else is going to give it to you. Not all of you are trust fund babies. I'm not talking to any one of you that's a trust fund baby. Okay? You know, maybe you can go to Harvard. Good for you. Harvard, in my opinion, is just a school of mediocrity. Most of the people that go there had someone else pay for them. You want to impress me? Pay for yourself. So, it's about commitment and reality. And I'll get to some other things a little later. But if you have questions about how to commit to a certain thing that you want to do, like you want to do meditation or you want to learn astrology, fine. I'm an excellent coach and a better motivator. Now, if you have thoughts on this particular subject, then call and ask a question. Call and say your thought. Even if you want to debate about it, I love a good debate, by the way. Just so you know. Okay, so are there any questions or any thoughts at all?
Yep.
What have you got for me?
Let's see, Rebecca says, in regards to what you were talking about earlier, the singing and hearing singing and smelling roses, she says, neat, thank you. And then Amber Hill says, okay, thank you. I'm empathic, a healer, and intuitive, but it is nice to get a reading from other intuitives. Sometimes it keeps me balanced.
Yes,
and
it does keep you balanced.
Regarding men also getting abused, Rebecca Kessler also says, yes, thank you, that is so true. And she says, what about when the other side makes up the spokesperson or spreads false propaganda?
Well, what do you mean by the other side? Do you mean darkness?
Yes.
When darkness, it happens all the time. Look at the news. That's why I don't watch it anymore. I refrain from watching the news because I think it's all a bunch of hogwash. They make up stuff all the time. and then say it in a way that it sounds true because it's mass media. Most of them know that they're saying the wrong thing, but hey, they get $1, don't they? They get little strips of green paper that tell them that they're worth that. So they're willing to do anything, whether or not it ruins the integrity of their spirit, or it ruins not their spirit, but the integrity of their energy. When they make up false things, you can fight it. But you know, it always comes down to this. It always comes down to having to prove that you're innocent, even when you know that you are. So the best thing for you to do is to circumvent them. Stop cooperating with them. Do not cooperate with them. I told you, it takes a whole choir of angels.
Wow.
You know, so when you got someone that is actually spreading rumors about you, don't worry about it. There's nothing you can do. They're going to spread the rumor anyway. It's just that way. You get people who are very jealous, so what they do is spread a rumor. Like, okay, I go to these, lately I've been going to these festivals, and they are, I guess they could be termed as, you know, psychics festivals.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And there's some very talented people. There's a very cool people there, you know, but every once in a while what you do is you get a mediocrity that gets upset if, you know, somebody that's actually legit shows up, and what they do is spread a rumor about them. Like, I was on my second one, and people really liked me. You know, we're getting some really positive feedback from a lot of people.
Was it even our second one? I thought it was like our first one.
Maybe the first one.
We were on our second one,
and we got
our first one. Somebody was already.
Yeah, our first one. Someone was already spreading rumors that I believed in the devil, and I held workshops to teach people how to worship the devil. Never met me before, never been to my school before, never been to my store before, but they were certain that that's what I did. And a young lady came distressed, and she told me this. So I thought it was really funny. I said, whatever. I've been going through that for years. They didn't used to let me play in the reindeer games because I was called a loose cannon and a rogue, a unicorn, and
I don't know.
All manner of other things. And you know, initially what you want to do is like defend yourself, and then I said, it's absolutely pointless.
And you let me go.
Then
you let me go and say hi to them.
Yeah, I let her go say hi to them. And then I knew what it was, but we got down to the bottom of it. The one was mad because she found me rather attractive. She was mad at me. I didn't ask her to be. I mean, it's not like I'm some raving beauty. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm actually a striking individual, but geez, don't get mad at me and just start spreading rumors about me like it's going to make me like you.
Well, we have a caller on the line.
And who might that be?
It's Trisha.
Oh, Trisha.
Yep. There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello.
I'm good. Hi, Cosby. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm not 100% sure how to word this or phrase it. And please excuse me if I get emotional. I know that you do dream interpretation.
I do.
And I had what I know to be a visitation.
Okay.
Which is obviously different. And it was back in either 2007 or 2008 of my grandmother.
Okay.
And I can still smell her today. Right now I'm thinking about it, I can still smell her. I can feel because she walked up to me and hugged me. And I can still smell her. That's how I know it. Nothing's ever happened like that to me before or since.
I understand.
So vivid and so real. And I was wondering, she said nothing to me except she gave me a kiss on the cheek and she smiled. I can tell you who was in the house. I can tell you what people were eating. I can tell you exactly what my grandmother was wearing.
Okay, can you tell me again what she said to you?
She said nothing. She just walked up to me, and I looked at her, and I put my hand over my mouth and started to cry.
Oh, I know this one. This one has, she smells like those little purple flowers. What are they? They're not
Violets?
violets.
What?
Yeah, your grandma smells like violets.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's the strange thing. Because for part of it, she smelled like oil of Olay. Because that's what she used to always put on her face.
Yeah, I smell violets.
And the other part, yeah, it was there was a floral scent. Yeah, maybe like lavender.
Yeah, I don't think it's lavender. I think it has actually more of a violet scent. Lavender's really recognizable, and this is a little different. And the closer that, wait a minute, is it violets that are the little?
The ones that we have outside.
I don't know.
The little purple ones that they're like.
Well, whatever. They're little flowers, and I think they also make candy out of them. Yeah, the little it is violets. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Put it together like that. Okay, what is? I'm just trying to figure out.
She's still there, right? She's still there. Here, there.
What do you mean?
Your grandmother, she's still there, right?
There?
You still smell her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she's still there. Sometimes they hang around for a while. I think that you're not seeing something. And I think there's something that needs to change because it went from, so, oh my goodness, there's a lot. You have a body deficiency somewhere. And I think I know what it is. And I think that she's trying to tell you about it. You have a body deficiency. And it's
That's interesting. That was when I was diagnosed hypoglycemic.
Yeah. And I think what she's...
Not anymore, but I was.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, it's something that's still lingering. So the body deficiency, whatever it is, hypoglycemia, whatever you want to call it, it has to do with... You need to... I know that you have a problem with eating, okay? But you need to get some of the stuff that the citrus gives you. You know, like oranges.
More vitamin C?
Maybe orange. There must be something different because that's just so pat. You know, oranges have something else in them that could possibly help you. I get it. Oranges are an antiparasitic. They'll stop you from getting sick. That's what that is. They're antiparasitic, and that's what you need. Not only that, you need some other things.
My grandmother was an insulin diabetic.
Yeah. So you need to really, you need to kind of take care of yourself there. And I know that you went through a bout where you were a little depressed and you didn't. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to pick ourselves up, Tricia. Okay. All right. Because.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not depressed or sad anymore. I love my life again. It's just, yeah, and I'm definitely working on it daily.
Yeah, you got to fix some things.
I'll catch myself getting angry and think about, this is not who I want to be.
Yeah.
And, force myself to stop feeling negative. I push it away as often as I can.
Well, see, you're a primary third circuit being. Okay, what I mean by third circuit being is everything that you do and everything that you are will register right at your solar plexus. Okay, so you need a little bit of shielding there. And then I think whatever she's trying to get through to you, she's trying to get through to you that you need a little more shielding. Okay, and maybe I'm not going to say to learn from her experience, but at least listen to what it is that she's offering, because I know that every time that you go into that particular thing, you go into that downturn is when you usually smell what you smell of her. It's almost like a preamble, like a warning to say, no, we don't need to do that. we don't want to do that. Okay? So don't short circuit yourself anymore, okay? You actually got some really beautiful energy, and you need to start operating from that energetic level. That'll help you out, okay?
Okay.
It'll be all right.
This is amazing because I've never, ever put this together that way. Never.
Yeah, that's kind of why we need each other.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Zeke.
You are so very welcome. Anytime. Okay? I'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. To the person who was giving us a call from area code 313, Detroit, if you would like to call us again.
Detroit?
Yeah.
Is that Andrea?
I don't know, maybe. Andrea, if you're trying to call, give us a call. We are available now on the phone. Sorry we missed your call.
Okay, are there any questions in,
No.
excuse me, in the meantime?
But we have a few comments.
Okay, what do we got?
Let me see. Rebecca Kessler says, yeah, it seems anymore that you are considered guilty until proven innocent in regards to the Occupy movement. And she says, I'm not saying I'm in trouble, but I notice that people in general are. I'm used to making people uncomfortable. The devil is always blamed by people who have no clue as to what they are talking about.
True. And, it's unfortunate. We have become a very judgmental society. We've always been rather judgmental, but now we're getting nasty about it, and being kind of subversive about it. And one of the things that we need to, I'm going to give you all a little bit of advice that when someone is starting a rumor, you don't need to know that person. In other words, if the person that starts the rumor is the one that you want to get away from, do you understand? Okay? Because they are totally disillusioning you. They are also lying, and they are starting something that does not need to be started, and it's only because they're jealous. And you don't ever want to be a part of that particular karma, okay? So, remember, this is that time. We have tried up to this point to do things the quote-unquote right way. And, I say that, and hopefully I get the point across. Now you got to do things the best way. You got to do things the most effective way. You got to do things in the way that they are actually going to do something. It doesn't do anything to sit up and protest something and then go to the very store that you're protesting. That doesn't help. That doesn't do anything. Don't go back to that place. Don't buy that product. Don't listen to that person. Don't stand and agree with what it is that they agree with simply because they decide to argue about it. If you see something, then see something. If you want something to change, then change it. And one of the other things that will do is it will allow you to clean house. And when you clean house, you'll be able to set your environment and atmosphere in the way that you want to set that environment and atmosphere. And if you're going to learn about mysticism, I'm going to tell you how to set an atmosphere with peace. Pick a place that you choose pick a place in your home that you call your sacred place. I don't care where that place is. And if you have children, I know that that's a little difficult. And if you have family, that's difficult. But you can find a little space someplace. Okay? And make sure that no trouble comes in there. Make sure that no one brings any difficulty in there. Make sure that no one brings any dissonance in there. And don't you bring any dissonance in there either. Okay? Sit with your candle or whatever it is going to be your meditational tool for about 5 minutes just to get yourself together. Whether it be in the morning or at night. There's no proper time to meditate, and I don't care what anybody tells you. Anytime you have the thought is the thought to meditate. And I listen to people all the time say, well, they say that 6 o'clock is the best time for you. No. Because 6 o'clock is only 5 o'clock someplace else. and 4 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. For all of you that are paranormal investigators, let me say this to you point blank, and I hope that you really listen to me and look in my face. There is no dead time. It is a lie. It was made up. It is wrong. Do you understand? I hope you understand me well. Yes, I, Uhura Z. Deliza, just told you there is no such thing as dead time unless you are dead. Okay. Just to let you know. So if some paranormal investigator comes and says, well, we're due dead time, get them out of your house. Get them out. It might be like an axe murder or something. You know, so just to let you know and tell them if they have a problem with who actually told you that, I'm really easy to find. Look at me. Okay. So, are there any other questions?
Yes, actually, we have a caller on the phone, and we also have a question.
Okay.
What would you like first?
Let's deal with the question really quickly.
All right. From Psychic Visions, ever since I decided to follow my true calling and develop myself, bad things started happening. It seems like out of the woodwork, something random and sometimes terrible will happen when I start to do something involving my development. I thought when a person chooses to improve their life, the way is supposed to be clear, so to speak.
That would be great.
Yeah.
If it was that easy, I know exactly where this is going.
Is this some kind of energy telling me I'm not on the right path after all? Why is this happening?
It is the type of energy that is trying to discourage you from being on your path. What made you think that it would be easy?
Yes.
Okay?
There's always the first 2 weeks of...
And not just the first 2 years. It could go on for 2 weeks. It could go on for 2 years.
Yep.
Listen, you've got to be stalworthy enough to stand there and deal with it. If you get discouraged because challenges come at you, and believe you me, they will come at you, just simply because you are there and you have made a decision. An old pastor once told me this, and I think it was one of the most valuable lessons that I ever got. This guy was an 80-year-old Jamaican guy, you know, and 80 years old, and the dude could walk faster than me, you know, running. And he would say to me, he said, you know, boy, when the devil not concerned about you, what him do is him leave you in his hand and him not bother you. But the moment him see you struggle, him tighten his grip. So, perhaps you are escaping the grip of the devil or escaping the grip of darkness, and darkness knows that. So what is it going to do? It is going to throw everything in your way to get you to give up. It is going to throw every challenge your way to get you to stop struggling and just go with the status quo. But you can break that grip. You break it and get out. Keep going. That means you must be on your way and getting close, because it just keeps doing. It happens all the time. Believe me. Do you think seriously that I didn't have to fight for every single bit of improvement that I have gotten in my life? Seriously. Think of even on a mundane level, okay? I was born, well, my skin was really light when I was little, but, you know, now I got darker skin. Do you know, I'm a non-white male. As far as difficulty goes, need I say more? But then, what happens is, okay, so I'm a multicultural male. So there's a challenge there, because everyone looks at me and judge. They used to look at me and judge me, and they probably still do, and I don't care. But then I got to the point where I was okay with everything, so I figured I could just mosey on along. But no. There's all kinds of people that get mad at me because I'm a male. You know, men are this, men are that, men are this. Wait a second. Dude, I just got here. Men control everything. What have men like me ever controlled? Seriously. And then I get in trouble because I'm a straight male. So these challenges happen for all of us on a mundane level. And then I'm in trouble because I'm an ethnic male that is straight, that is neither Democrat nor Republican. So now I got to deal with that. Because the Republicans look at me like, oh, you're a Democrat. And then the Democrats look at me like, why are you a Republican? I'm not, no, not me. And then I got to be in trouble because I'm goddess consciousness. Had people do, Facebook warriors that say, ask questions about Z and say, would Z, would Z turn on bros for hoes? And I was like, okay, I don't like those terms in the first place. But are you asking me, would I forsake men for women? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I would. I will choose the woman most times, unless she's wrong. And if she's wrong, I'm not going to. But most times, yes. Why? Because I'm a very goddess consciousness individual. Very, very much so. Yes, Christ is the center of my being, and that's the way that I am. And anybody that has a problem with that, they can take a long walk over a short pier. But when it comes to that, yes, I would. Would I deny bros for girls? Yes, I would. I'm not interested in guys. Not really. I mean, be friends, we can be comrades, we can be brothers and all that good stuff, but this place would be very strange and lonely without women. That's from my perspective. Okay? So, on a spiritual level, I'm for everybody. Men and women are equal, mentally, physically, and spiritually. All people are equal. I don't care where you come from, what color you are, what your creed is, whether you're tall, short, fat, gay, straight, whether you are, you got one arm, you got two arms. If you got three, come see me. We can make a lot of money. I don't care. I don't care if you come from another planet. As long as you are into positivity and spiritual growth and evolution, you are part of my family. And that is the way that I see it. And yes, really, this is the way that I think. This is the way that I am. So, you're going to get judged one way or another. You're going to fall into challenges. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. Deal with the challenge and keep going. Deal with the challenge and keep going. Is there a point where you make it, where it gets better? No, you get better. Darkness is always going to be darkness. You just get better. Hope that helps you out. I know your fight. But if you're aware of the fight, then that means that you can beat it. And what do we got here?
We have Lisa on the phone from Detroit.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Do you hear me? Good.
I can
how
indeed.
Are you?
Good.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of still hearing the record.
Yeah, you got to turn your television down. You got to turn your sound down. Otherwise, there will be a lag.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, but you got to turn your sound down.
Okay. Here, let me do this because you're hearing the TV. Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Are you? Oh, okay. Well, I have kind of two questions. The first part is I keep getting the message about something that's going to happen in my life that is going to bring me a lot of peace.
Okay.
Mind.
Okay.
And that it's going to shift things, like things aren't working, and then all of a sudden I'll get really busy, and that these things would be taken care of, but it's not specific. It's just the same, it's that message every single day, all day long.
Okay.
It kind of comes through me.
I understand. Well, when it's saying that, what it means is that you should just pay attention to the message. Doesn't mean for you to worry about the specifics, because the specifics won't do you any good. As a matter of fact, if it told you about specifics, you find a way to get in the way. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a lot better for you to just accept the message as it is.
Okay.
Okay. So if it's telling you things are going to be okay, let all of your faith and all of your hope go into that particular message.
Okay.
And I do know that you've had some things that are just kind of disjointed in your life, and they're going to straighten right up. You just have to decide that you're going to make it okay. You're going to be okay. There are some wonderful things that are going to happen with you. In fact, they've already started. You just got to kind of pay attention to the entire change and not just one little thing or two little things.
Right.
Yeah, because you worry too much.
Mhm.
Yeah, stop it. It's this universe telling you, look, we've got this, okay? You just keep being the person that
And
you
that,
are.
yeah, that's exactly how it feels when they say it to me. It's like everything is, and that's what they say. That they start off with, everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, we've got this. It's all right.
Now the other question, because I'm going to go with what you said.
Okay.
Sounds very, they're hitting me on the back of the head. Like, did he really have to tell you that? Okay, that's what you needed. That's what they're telling me. I was like, okay. But last week when you were speaking of doing the candle work
Yes.
and putting your energy, what if you resonate more with air, water, and earth?
Yeah.
Are there
Yes,
ceremonies
and
that can be done for well, me?
well, there definitely
I
are.
resonate more with than fire.
There definitely are. There are ceremonies to be done with each one of them. And all of the elements are equal. They're all sentient. I only started off with fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's yeah. I'll teach you about all of the elements. Okay. They're all are equal, and they're all very, very important. They're all alive. So let's see. So if you're dealing with wind, there's some things to do with wind, and I'd like to actually dedicate a whole class on that, and maybe I'll do that next week. Okay.
Oh, great.
Just to
great,
get
great.
you to into the thought of wind and get you to be able to find your wind, and then we'll do water, we'll do earth, and then we'll do lightning.
Sounds fantastic.
Not a problem at all. It's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, thank you.
you're so very welcome. Now I told you gotta like wait for things to unfold. Okay.
Well, the thing is, it's because this has never happened to me before. I've never done, like, had channeled messages, which is basically what I feel it is.
It is.
I wake up, if I get quiet, then it starts. And it's the same message over and over, and whenever things get closer, it gets really frantic. And it's almost like I'm screaming.
Yes.
My son is like, Mom, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. It's them, it's not me. But and then I'm thinking I have to do something, but I don't know what to do. So I'm like, well, am I supposed to be doing something?
Well, you're not to that stage yet. Yes, there's some things that you'll need to do, but before you do something, you have to get the entire message. Do you understand? And you have to
Right.
wait for things to unfold. You see, otherwise you're kind of like you're like that soldier that just kind of got a gun and happened to be facing a certain direction and ran charging off, and nobody gave the order to do anything yet. So be patient. And remember, do the things that are in front of you to do. And then when the entire message comes through, or you get the go-ahead to do something, you'll be right on target.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Okay, good.
Thank
I hope that
you.
helps you. Not a problem. Okay, take care now.
All right. Have a great night.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, what do we got?
We have Amber Hill was wondering if you were doing readings for people who call in because she just wanted to know if she should continue to pursue the path that she's on. Amber, you really should call for a consultation. That's more of a private and personal information. What do you think?
Yeah, if you need something, if there's something that you really need a reading on, it's best for you to call in and get a reading. Okay? I'll help you out any way that I can, but if there are personal matters, I'd rather not air them. I'd rather have the consultation with you privately. Okay? If there's something that is not personal, that's fine. This is not for me to do readings. This is for me to actually teach and answer questions. If you have a specific question about something, I'll be more than happy to do that. But if you need a reading, that's something entirely different.
Yeah.
When a person comes in, usually, especially like someone like Tricia, who has visitations from her grandmother had a specific thing to talk about. In other words, Tricia may not be able to hear it, but I had to verify a couple of things for her in order to solidify her thoughts about it. Okay, so that's the thing about the spirit realm, is they can be anywhere simultaneously. It's not that I have to travel there in my spiritual body to answer this question. There's no time or space in the spiritual realm, so you can be here and there at the same time. Okay. What else have we got?
Rebecca Kessler says that she's saying, I have a fear of taking leaps of faith because I doubt my own inner voice, even when it proves to be correct later, time and time again.
I understand. Most people have a fear of taking a leap of faith. Most people have a fear of just taking a leap anywhere, but if you just go ahead and step forward, and don't think of it necessarily as taking a leap of faith, but just stepping forward so that you can be on your course and on your way, it will be all right. Okay? We've been taught to be fearful of so many things, and it's time to break the fear. It's time to stop it. Okay? You want something. You want to realize something. You want to grow. You want to develop. You want to evolve and step into the realm of growth, development, and evolution. Go ahead. Step. Okay, hope that helps you. And if you need my guidance, you know that I teach classes. I teach classes. I do readings. I give seminars. I do workshops. I do speaking engagements. I do spiritual counseling. I do telepathic counseling. I do healing work. I do a lot of things. Okay? And as a telepath, I kind of have to do those things. I need to put myself right in the middle of things because it helps my balance. It helps my adjustments. And if I don't do these things, then I don't have anywhere for any of that energy to go. And if the universe is using me as a conduit, then I have to be able to do a lot of things and spin a lot of plates. And yes, I really can do these things. And I do them quite well. Not only that, I don't mind doing my work. I hear people all the time say, well, people tug on you and they want your attention all the time. And they, look, if I wanted to be a shut-in, I would not have chose this work. I mean, I would put on a very big wig someplace and, have a really phony smile and tell people what they wanted to hear loudly.
She says, that was messed up, man. She says, I am calm in really bad scenarios, but in terms of spirituality, I have a hard time. I could handle someone having a heart attack, but I can't handle trusting my own voice.
That's understandable. You just got to be able to hear your voice with certainty. And if your voice is saying what you mean, and meaning what you say, then you can handle things. Don't look at it as handling negativity as a good thing, because it's not always a good thing. You don't want negativity. You want to be able to handle everything with equanimity. You want to be able to deal with both sides. You can't just deal with one side of things. It will make you imbalanced. You need training in that area. Take the training. Commit to it. Do what it takes. Don't just listen. I can see you. I know that you're ready to jump. You just got to do it. Jump. 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 Come on, jump. Don't just say how much you want to do something. That doesn't help. Do something. If you're a guy, I tell you to man up. So I'm going to tell you this, girl up.
That's
whatever that means.
Doesn't stop.
I know it doesn't have the same impact.
No, stop. No, that's almost as impactful as girl power.
No.
Don't
woman up. There, how about that? Yeah, strong. Be strong. Have some intestinal fortitude.
Why does it have to be gender-based?
What are you talking about? You have no idea what you're saying, do you?
I'm going on a rant.
What rant? You have to have something to rant about.
This whole feminist movement thing.
Whatever. You've been watching fairy tales.
I've been watching fairy tales.
That's enough.
Fairy tale is a great anime.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with fairy tale. You're not Urza. You're Kazi. Knock it off.
I'm more like Natsu.
Whatever. Okay. I'm just trying to get her to jump because she's right on the edge.
Oh, do it.
This is reality here. And she
Jump.
knows that I can see her.
She says, ha ha ha, thank you.
Good. I mean, you've already let other people know how active you want to be. Why don't you be active then?
Yes.
I know it's weird listening to a telepath. I know it is. Because when I'm talking to you guys, it's like I'm looking right at you.
That's creepy. And I think that's it for questions.
Okay. Well, if you have any questions or you'd like to call in, please feel free to do so. We can be reached at area code 207-347-5686. Or you can write us at www.asktheunicorn.com or www.unicorn-cove.com. You can use this little thing, beep boop beep 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 boop beep, and we will be happy to discuss things with you. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody except for everybody's watching.
Yeah. And I think Rebecca Porterfield Kessler says, I have kids to take care of them.
What? You can't do more than one thing?
When the kids go to the school, you can practice.
No, she knows what I'm saying. That's an
I
excuse,
got
and you know
nothing.
it. You know that's an excuse. You just made an excuse. I can't believe you actually tried to pass that off on me. You made an excuse. I have kids. I've raised 4 kids. 5. Okay? One of them's still with me.
Present.
So don't tell me that. Okay? You have to be willing to do things. Okay? Great. I sympathize with you. It's hard. But you can do it.
She says, I have to be mediocre for them for the time being.
Oh,
But
that
thanks,
makes absolutely
really.
no. You just set women back like 40 years. What are you talking about? What are you saying? You have all of that wonderful energy and all of that gumption and all of that stuff, and you're going to tell me now you're going to play mundane because here it is. The cliff is right there. Jump. Jump. Do it. Come on. I'll help you out.
All right.
You know what you might do? Watch something inspirational. It'll get a fire lit up under your keister. Okay? Watch something inspirational like, what?
She says, I have 4 and I fear certain decisions could negatively impact them.
That's always a task. That is always a task on a real level. I get it. But think about this. By your standing up for yourself, you'll make life easier for them. You'll make life better for them because you'll give them a perfect example of how to stand up for themselves. Think of it that way. It's a very positive way to think about it. Wow. You should really eat something. Seriously.
Who wants to show this over? Take care of certain things.
Yeah, her stomach is talking. I just thought I'd let everyone know that did not hear it.
Yeah, nobody can hear it except for the 2 of us.
Well, you know.
Congratulations. Thank you for keeping things.
You're so very welcome. I aim to please. Okay, is there anything else?
Nope,
Any other
that's
questions?
it.
Any other comments?
She says, I don't want to be selfish.
Okay. That whole selfish thing, I'm about fed up with that. Whenever you don't do what someone else wants you to do, they call you selfish.
Yes.
Okay? That's ridiculous. Even if you didn't want to have children, they'll call you selfish. How the heck is it selfish to not have kids if they're not here? That doesn't make any sense. You know, I've seen women who are single and have someone say, well, isn't that selfish? You're not wanting to have children. Selfish to who? Exactly. And how? What? You don't want to be like everyone else? Or you're selfish because you don't donate your hair to Locks of Love? There's nobody there that loves you. Okay? Give me a break. Tell them to use synthetic hair to make wigs. You don't know what they're doing with your hair. I think it's a huge mistake to donate your hair. Huge. Because there might be people that are like me, that work for these companies that don't have the scruples that I have. And believe you me, they can do a lot to you with your hair. You should really seriously think about things like that. When someone calls you selfish, most of the time, it's because you don't do what they want you to do. And it's them that is selfish. Making a choice to fend for yourself is not selfish. Making a choice to grow and develop for yourself is not selfish. Now, if you're neglecting someone, especially your children, if you're neglecting your children, that's not selfish. That's foolish. There's a difference there. But if you're taking care of your kids and you're making sure that you grow and you develop and you evolve, that is not selfish. And anyone who thinks that is severely undereducated and very, very ignorant. Just to let you know. So, jump. Do what you got to do. Jump. Or else you'll be sitting there 30 or 40 years from now, well, probably 18 years from now, wondering why you don't have the energy to do what you really wanted to do in your life. And then you'll talk about what you could have been or what you could have done. That's very sad. And then the very people that were telling you how selfish you are will say to you, why didn't you go ahead and do it? You didn't have to listen to me. Mark my words. Just a thought.
Right, and she says, great show tonight. You were so wise. You're the first person to tell me that.
Thank you.
Wise you are.
I'm only wise because I had good teachers, okay? I had great teachers. If there's anything that in me that you like that I say, it is because, one, I was gifted by the universe, and two, I had really great teachers to teach me how to use those gifts. Let's be clear on that. That's why I'm so confident. I know where I came from, and I'm humble enough to realize that. So I use my gifts and what they have taught me to the best of my ability, confidently. You do the same.
All right, we have a last minute question from Natalio Casanueva.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask, what causes one to not be able to register time or direction? Things that could have happened yesterday seem like they happened months ago. Cannot remember most of childhood, etc. Get lost very easily.
And that means that those gaps are expanding in your consciousness and they need to be taken out. You should probably seek someone that will be able to take you either through a regression or a soul travel, if they know what that is. Okay? To maybe close some doors and some gaps and help you to remember things. Not only help you to remember things, but give you a method of helping yourself remember things on a daily basis. I might recommend this. So you can carry with you a small notebook so that if there are things that are important that you need to remember, you can write them down. You don't have to write down the whole thing, but just something that will remind you, like a symbol. I usually tell people to do this in their dream journals, because if you try to write down everything that is in your dreams, you'll wind up not being able to sleep for the rest of the night. So if you just do something that's just a symbol, to say this is what that represents or that's what this represents, then you'll be able to recall things. I might also recommend some type of a tea or tincture or elixir that has ginkgo biloba in it. Remember that name, ginkgo biloba. It delivers blood oxygen to the brain and helps to restore memory function and also helps short and long-term memory function. Okay, so there's some good things for you. That should help you out. Beyond that, there are probably some things that have colored the rest of your life that you need to wake up. Okay, that not only just wake up, but you need to clear them out. It will, there's some things that may have happened to you that made you a certain way. So when something comes along that has that type of an energy, you just blink it out. So it's closing the gaps. Okay? If you need help with that, let me know.
Cool. And another question. Our Alicia Valentine wants to know, who did the unicorn behind you?
I did.
I love it.
I did. It's actually a really funny story. When I tell you that I can do a lot of things, I really can. And I'm not a jack of all trades. I master everything that I set out to do. It took me 5 minutes to do that. And that was 15 years ago. 14
Many years ago.
14 years ago. And I did 3. I did a unicorn, a Pegasus, and a Phoenix. And they were huge, like this one. And it was really funny. I hung them up on my second store, and there were a group of artists that came from the art college across the street from where we were, is Mecca, Maine College of Art. And they would come in, they'd bring other people, and they came in, and there's 3 of them there this one time, and I was standing at the counter, and they were talking about how spiritual this was. They were saying, oh, you can really tell what the artist was feeling and what she was thinking when she reached down into herself to find the beauty of the unicorn. And I just listened.
Oh, it was awesome. They did a whole reading on the...
They did a whole thing, a dissertation on this thing,
Yeah.
and I just listened. She said, it must have taken her hours to deal with her soul. And I said, you guys like those, huh? And they said, oh, yes.
What she was
And
thinking was...
She is so... And I said, I did those. Took me 5 minutes. And they ran out of the
Their
store.
bubble went pop!
And they ran out of the store. I went, wait, I was spiritual.
Yeah.
When I did it. I did it because this is who I am. You know, this is just who I am. I mean, and I do this at any point in time for anybody who wants it done. You know, all you have to do is pay me. And I'll find what you have on the inside of you, and I will do a representation of it. And it won't take me long to do it.
5 minutes. I watched it.
You know, so that's how it happened. But thank you very much. I'm glad you like it.
Cool. And Natalia Casanova says, what do you say to that? Thanks. Seems inadequate. I must call soon.
Yep.
Yeah, you could always leave us a donation in exchange for, if you like, in exchange for our
We'll discuss that
services
another
and
time.
times and whatever.
Yeah. I
All
don't
right.
teach for free. You all know that. I've said that many, many times.
Yep.
And I'm sure that the people that are listening know that as well.
Well, it's just my job. And that's about it for tonight.
Is that it?
Yep, no other questions.
All right. I'd like to thank you all for joining us on the Way of the Unicorn. And next week we will be talking about wind. Okay, and I will help you all with some ceremonies to contact your wind and build a relationship with the wind. Okay, so I hope you all like tonight's show. If you have any questions, write them down. Remember, next week you can all look at this kind of like a class. This is my pro bono class here to people that are looking to learn. And I really enjoy doing this. And if you'd like to make a donation to the show, please go to www.asktheunicorn.com, make a donation, or www.unicorn-cove.com and make a donation. We will use it towards the show to make sure that I can even do other shows. All right. Once again, thank you. Have a wonderful evening. I'm Ahura Z. This is Nirakazi. Night-night.
Night-night.